Morning all! You did it! You got the channel over 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Join me after the sting. Well, that's it. We tipped over 10,000 subscribers last week on the channel, and to say I'm grateful is a huge understatement. I'm humbled. I'm, of course, emotional about the whole thing. My God, it's just, I can't believe it's eventually happened. I remember the first ever subscriber to the channel, a chap called Trevor Harrington. Just see where I'm going here. And he told me it wouldn't be long before I hit 10,000 subscribers after my first video, which was a video I made actually on the FJR1300, which is what got me back into riding bikes again and what got me to basically kickstart the YouTube channel. And I remember Trevor saying, it won't be long before you hit 10,000 subs, Dave. Well, that was 3 years ago, slightly over 3 years ago. So I am absolutely thrilled that it's happened. Of course, I'm massively spurred on by that happening as well. Just got to watch these roads, they're covered in mud. As you can see, I'm out on the CRF300. So a bit of mud's not a problem. However, saying that, the tyres are absolutely bloody awful. And actually, as a treat to myself for hitting the 10,000 subscribers, because I mean, I've got to justify it. I need an excuse to buy anything, really. Well, that's what I tell my wife anyway. So I'm going to buy myself some new tyres for this bike. So any suggestions would be more than welcome. God, these roads are very slippy. I'm looking at the Michelin trackers. I'll just tilt that camera down a bit. Michelin trackers, or the because Pete English, I'm sure a lot of you know him. He uses the Michelin trackers, and he's having great experience with them. Now, Pete does a lot of off-road. This is the thing. I'd say he probably does 80-20 off-road compared to road. I'm the complete opposite. I only do like 20% off-road. So I'm also looking, and again, it's thanks to a couple of lads in Richie Vida's Wild Bad crew, the Irish lads actually, Keith and Martin. They both have CRF300s as well. And they're looking at getting the Dunlop 606s. So I shall consider that as well. If you have a CRF, and indeed if you've any experience of those tyres, then let me know, and also let me know any other suggestions you can come up with as well. So I always said when I got the 10,000 subscriber mark, I'd buy myself some new tyres for this bike. Oh, and another thing, I don't mind telling you now, I've got myself on the waiting list for the new BMW 1300 GS, which I'm incredibly excited about. So I met a rep from BMW, from Joe Duffy, BMW, at a video launch that I was doing for the recent series on the Grand Tour of Ireland for the Jigsaw mental health charity. And because BMW sponsored it, the rep was there at the video launch. So got talking to him, lovely guy, and anyway, I got myself on the waiting list, and I've also been invited along to the launch, which is great. Where am I going here? I've no idea where I'm going. Following me nose, but that's what these bikes are for, aren't they? So yeah, so I suppose 10,000 subscribers, and I've just put myself on the waiting list for the BMW as well. Don't tell my wife. It's alright, she doesn't watch these videos. She doesn't like motorbikes. Now, a few of you have been asking me recently what has been my favourite moment over the last 3 years since I've been vlogging. Well, I can sort of break that down a little bit if you want. My favourite set of videos, my favourite spin, if you like, was the series I did last year over in Connemara. Without a doubt, hands down, oh my God, that being over there for 4 days or whatever it was and making that series of videos, and I still get feedback about it now. So that was that. Incidentally, going back to the FJR video for a second, even though that was my first ever video on the channel, it's still the most watched. It's got over 100,000 views, that video. So there's a lot to be said for making your first video your benchmark, because no other video I've made has come close to that, to be honest. So clearly I've gone downhill since I released the first one. Oh yeah, the other thing I fancy buying for myself, but I'm going to wait and see what the 1300 GS is like, and to see what colour scheme that it comes in, because I fancy buying myself a new adventure helmet. This is the Scorpion, the original one, the ADX1, which I love, I'll be honest with you, and I've always been very transparent about that. However, the ADX2 nearly killed me, and the replacement they sent me as well didn't work out. I've been told for legal reasons I'm not allowed to speak about Scorpion helmets anymore, so I shall leave that there, but read into that what you will. So they're the things that are on the shopping list. Now, of course, with the 1300 GS, I'll be selling my R1200 GS to part fund that, you know. I think there's a buyer in the midst. I'll put it up for sale nearer the time. Maybe he's not take that one. I'm looking for a bit of a sort of fun sort of track. But yeah, so I'll be trading in the R1200 GS. Back to my list of favourites actually on that note. Sorry, hay fever already. My favourite bike I've owned, now I've already sort of mentioned my soft spot for the FJR 1300. Love that bike, but unfortunately it didn't really love me or my size and shape anyway. So my bike, my go-to bike, as I've always said, is my GS. I mean, I always said the only way I would get rid of my GS is if I could upgrade it for a newer model. And I mean, last year I was going to upgrade to the 1250. Couldn't really see the point of it, to be honest. Even though those of you who own it, the 1250, say there's a huge difference between the 1200 and 1250. But anyway, when the rumours of the 1300 started coming out, I thought, right, I'll hang on for that. Now, I think I've been up here before. I'm running the tyres a little bit soft, only because they are getting quite low on the knobbly bits. So just to give it a bit more surface area on the roads, I've taken the tyres down to 18 psi, as opposed to the 22 psi that I normally run them at. I have noticed a difference in the wet actually on the road. There's definitely a bit more grip. Maybe that's mind over matter, or just the look of the draw. But at the end of the video, I'll try and take this into the fields at home, and I'll show you what I mean about how bloody awful these tyres are. They are the IRC trails. Plenty of loose gravel here. Oh, looks like we're going onto a bit of a green lane here. It hasn't stopped raining for the last 3 weeks, folks, here in Ireland. It's just been really bad, torrential. So, as you can see, there's still a bit of surface water around. Oh, this looks interesting ahead. Time to stand up, I think. Suspension on the bike, I know a lot of you say it's too soft. Now, it really sort of suits me because of the height of the bike. That means I can get 2 feet on the ground, but it really does swallow up those potholes. It's, well, to be honest, it just suits me, that suspension. I love it the way it is. So, oh god, now I'm wishing I had new tyres. Look at all this, and there's more ahead. Lots of loose stones here. Take it handy. Oh, very loose. Well done, CRF. There's more ahead. Just negotiate this. That's okay. and some more ahead again. So I'm on the rear brake. Nice. Looks like we've got through that. It really will. It'll sort of it'll go head on with anything. This little bike, it's great. It'll tackle anything. As I always said, it's my Land Rover on 2 wheels. So yeah, I mean, I love this bike. I just once I've got new tyres on it, I'm hoping I can. What's happening here? Just a fellow walking the dog with the headphones on. Yeah, I'm hoping I can test out its capabilities a lot more once I've got new tyres on. So you can see we're up in the wind farm here. Lovely place to be. So folks, I sort of got engrossed talking about the bike and my plans for future purchases, which will all go to help the channel and help shape the channel as well. The other thing I've sort of done on a personal side of things is I'm actually talking at my first biker festival next month. I'll not name the festival as such because you'll hear about it in due course. But I'm sort of pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. I've always shied away from doing that sort of stuff because, well, I'm the man behind the camera in many ways. You know, I've been a cameraman for 35 years, so I've always been on the wrong side of the camera, if you like. So to be in front of it, but then I suppose the YouTube thing all feeds into it, you know, to be in front of the camera. Well, with the YouTube stuff, I mean, it's sort of second nature now. I'm very comfortable doing this now. And I'm not totally embarrassed when people watch videos in front of me and I hear my own voice. But to sort of public speaking and whatever, so I've been asked to do a sort of workshop along the lines of my masterclass videos, where I talk about the different cameras and editing processes. It would help if I could even say it for starters. So yeah, just about the technology. So whilst many lads who speak at these festivals have ridden around the world, and you know who I mean, Bruce T. Pot One, of course, he's a great guy. So, but there's a lot of riders who have experience like Bruce has, you know, riding around the world and in different environments. And whilst I might not have that sort of breadth of knowledge or experience under my belt, what I can bring to the table is obviously my knowledge and experience with cameras and technology. So my angle is going to be how to capture those trips. And how to make a story, basically, out of what you're going out to capture. So I'm pushing myself outside of the comfort zone with that, and hopefully I'll be speaking at a lot more events in the near future if I enjoy this one I'm going to do. Where am I going here? I think we might go right here. See what's down here. So there you go. That's a little challenge to myself. And I always thought to myself, again, I tell you what, this 10,000 subscriber benchmark is a lot to answer for, because I've always thought, yeah, well, when I get to 10k subscribers, I'll do that. But I'm really trying to be true to myself and do it. So that's the crack with that. I tell you what, I've probably said enough for this video. I didn't want it to go on too long. I just wanted it to be a huge, gracious thank you to all of you for watching my videos every week, Saturday mornings at 8 o'clock. That's my slot. And also, you know, for all your kind words over the years, for all of your encouragement. Even when I've shared personal things with you as well, the amount of support I got from you was absolutely, well, mind-blown, for want of a better phrase. It really did give me what I needed at the time, and thanks a million for that again. And the other thing I'd like to thank you for is for those of you who regularly buy me coffees. You know, I suffer from this thing called imposter syndrome. I really cannot believe people sit down and watch me on a regular basis. I don't think I'm worthy at all, but hey ho, that's me. I've googled it. I do have a slight bit of autism, so it's possibly linked with all of that as well. Anyway, that's it. So for those of you who then buy me coffees because you've really enjoyed my videos, that's just that'll always intrigue me. Anyway, I think I've said enough. So why don't I head out on a bit of field? Well, yeah, why don't I head out and we'll do a bit of field work, and I'll show you just how bad these tyres are and why I really do need to go out and buy some new tyres. Mrs. Perry, if you're listening, and I know you won't be. The other thing I really have to note is that I've made so many friends since I got back into motorcycling. Those of you who've come forward, you know, who don't live too far away from me and who want to hook up, you know, that sort of stuff, like Glenn and Dylan and Martin, you know, and they're only the lads who live on my doorstep. You know, when I went to the ABR festival recently as well, and then met a lot of you who just came up to introduce yourselves, and then I recognised your names straight away as well, you know, and it's just a brilliant community, as you know. And I wasn't expecting that when I got back into bikes. I very much saw it as a sort of solo hobby. So this has only been a win-win situation, a massive bonus actually. And one thing, well, one familiar trait I think we all have is the passion that we have for motorbikes, of course. And I don't think there's any such thing as a silence when you're sat with another biker. There's always something to talk about. Right, and here we are. We're at the top fields at home. There's no 360 camera on here because, if I'm totally honest, I'm fully expecting to come off. I've taken the bike, no I haven't, but I will take the bike out of ABS mode. There we go. Right, as you can see, like I mentioned earlier, the ground is absolutely soaked because of all the rain we've had. So let's see how we get on. Yeah, not good. The back end is just sliding everywhere here. Jeepers. I don't even know how I got through that. Oh, Christ. I was nearly over again there. On the back, I can't even get traction. The back end is just slipping. Oh, I might have to... Alright, here we go. I literally can't get traction. And the back end is just coming out underneath me. This is ridiculous. So I'm running. I'm just going to try go see if I can get any traction in second gear, and we are off. But that was just unbelievable, and we're not really on a slope, we are on a slight incline, but I wouldn't call it a hill or anything. I think the top field, which is what I had in mind, is going to be totally out of bounds because that is quite steep. We'll go into it and we'll see. Like, if I'm moving, should be alright. It's very, very slippy, folks. The whole bike feels very light. I've got my feet ready just to go down and save me. So you can see the path I've cut into the grass from walking the dogs most evenings. Oh, the back end is everywhere. Right, I'll get round this field and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm actually going away on holiday tomorrow, so I don't want to risk a broken bone the night before I go away on holiday. So, as you can see, the tyres just really aren't up to it. On the road, the stock tyres are bang on, but for the odd little bit of green laning I do around my fields here, I would love something. Well, something which, let's face it, with a little bit of grip would be nice, wouldn't it? These have absolutely none. Even going up there, the back end was everywhere underneath me. Now, for moments like that, I don't know if there's a right way or wrong way. I prefer on smoother ground like grass like this. I prefer sitting down because I can feel the bike more, if that makes sense. I can sort of react with my body a lot more. I suppose it's a bit like riding a horse. You sort of adjust without even thinking about it to keep your balance. Anyway, at least I got off road for a couple of minutes. Like I said earlier as well, if you can recommend tyres, folks. Oh, what have I done here? Look at that. I mean, it's an incredible bike. Just to point at anything, it will go through it. I'm really hoping when I have new tyres on, it'll be unstoppable. So once again, folks, to all 10,000 of you, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber of the channel and you fancy becoming 10,001, or wherever we're at now that this video is going out, please subscribe and like the videos as well. That all adds to the algorithm on YouTube, and it helps push me out there. And who knows, before long we might be up to 15,000. Wouldn't that be amazing? Right, folks, I'm going to sign off. Dave Perry, Wheelie Good TV. Have a great weekend, everybody. Ride safe.